Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be going over our 7014 rod using the Everlast DC welder. So let's get into it, we'll show you what to do. Okay guys, so here's my settings for 7014. As you can see, I'm not in synergic mode. I couldn't really find a setting that I liked a lot, so I ended up making my own. So here you can see I'm running at, it's supposed to be 100 volts, or amps, excuse me, 100 amps, and now you'll notice the voltage says 71.1. So this is a little misleading. You're generally not able to set the voltage on your stick welding machine, and in all honesty, even if I do scroll through all my settings here, I do not have a voltage option. So what this voltage is, this is actually what's called OCV, known as the open circuit voltage, and for my machine it is 71.1. Now, if I remember correctly, depending on what country you're in the US, I believe your max OCV is 80. Some machines have it, some don't, but for mine's 71.1, so just a quick little note about that. But anyway, I'm going to be running my 7014 at 100 amps. My 7014 rod is a 332nd, so one thing to remember a little bit here, I kind of set up my 332nd 7000 series, so like if I was running a 7018 that was 332nd, you almost kind of run them set up the same way that you would if you were running like an 8-inch 6011 or 6010. Usually those start at about 90. Again, I like running mine at about 100, and I'm going to do the same with my 332nd rod as well. So that's about where I will like mine. So let's go ahead, we'll get into it, and we'll show you a weld. Okay, so quick technique moment here on our piece of scrap metal. You know that I always like to go through my techniques with you guys. So 7014 being a 7000 series rod, this one runs a lot like the 7018 that we discussed in the last video. So what you're going to do to get this going is you're going to come down and strike start it like that, just like striking a match. So you're going to come down, touch and lift just a little bit, get the arc to stabilize, come back in, and then just drag this along your plate using a backhand motion like so. So, just like the 7018, strike a match, get the arc to stabilize, come in, and just let it lay on in there. So, let me throw on my safety gear. Always remember your safety gear, and we'll set up and run a bead for you guys. Alright guys, so there's my 7014 bead right there. As you can see, I haven't chipped it yet because I wanted to kind of show you guys what it looks like. It's a little different from the 7018, but it should look pretty good once we get that chipped. So I'm going to go ahead and chip it and cut that out so that you guys don't have to lose your ears over it, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so here's our 7014 bead. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It actually went in pretty well. And you probably recognize in the arc shot there that I came back and restarted and filled in that crater. So this is just nice and smooth. I really like it. The one thing that I will note is right in here, right near the beginning, I have what's called a little bit of undercut. And it's going to be a little hard to see, but my weld metal goes down a little bit below the surface, kind of just from here to here. Kind of hard to see on the camera, but it's there. Now, things that'll probably cause that, more likely than not, what happened was after I struck my arc, I came back a little too far and had a little bit too much arc length. I should have stayed just a little bit closer. What happens when you have too much arc length is you get a lot of voltage in your arc, and voltage is really good at digging. So it digs into the metal. So probably what that was I came up too far, and I needed to be a little bit shorter arc length. So I just didn't quite have it stabilized enough there. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this bead. More likely than not, what I do to fix this is I'd come back, and run a colder bead. I'd probably tone down my amps just a little bit. Run a slightly colder bead right here and just fill that in and just work it up. But overall, I'm pretty happy with that. So guys, that's how you run 7014 on a DC arc. I hope you guys learned something, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.